Hey guys, we're going to do a video on The Last of Us 2 leaks because we know that that's a very important topic where... Guys, welcome back!
We're back!
We're back, baby!
It feels weird to be actually back in the office, but it is very good to be back. We are slowly but surely, in Australia at least, look, there's a lot of restrictions still, but they said you can see more than one person.
That's
and
right.
Ralph is my brother, so I thought, well, that feels pretty safe. You can go to the beach, and you can go to real estate auctions and stuff.
This is actually why we didn't upload over the weekend. People were like, you Sony shills haven't been doing a video yet. We actually took the weekend off because quarantine restrictions were easing and we decided to go outside.
Yes.
But we are back here now, and of course we are going to talk about the absolute shit show that is The Last of Us 2 and what Sony are doing, because it's not good. It's not good at all.
Not good at all.
It's really not good. Let's do a studio drop.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that feels good. It feels good to just drop it in the studio right there. Okay, so everyone knows what's been going. Well, a lot of people would know what's been going on with The Last of Us Part 2. Now, biggest game probably coming out this year, apart from
Cyberpunk, bro.
Fine, but it's okay.
Oh my god, I'm touching you. I'm touching you.
Oh my god, do I have COVID? We don't know. Maybe I do. Yeah, it's the biggest game on PlayStation 4 coming out, at least, I think, this year. So a lot of people are excited about it.
I think it was, and now maybe I think it's Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, that's true.
I think it was the biggest game.
I retract my statement. Now, a lot of people were excited for it, and there has, fortunately for some, because some people are happy about it, but there has been leaks, everybody. Now, a lot of people know what has been going on with the story and a lot of the cutscenes and plots.
Yes, I have actually, it got spoiled for me pretty early on because people were like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I looked at it. Since then, I've watched a lot of cutscenes and I've watched a big gameplay chunk that was recently released. It has been coming out in waves. What's his name? The Big Connect guy? We are coming in waves.
Carlos something.
I don't know. Anyway, it's been coming out in waves. It's not just one initial drop, so there has been multiple. I haven't watched everything, but I've watched a fair chunk of it. I've definitely got a sense of what's taking place in this game, as has people who have watched this stuff. We know essentially many of the bigger beats that we can experience in The Last of Us 2. People are aware of those now, okay? So that's a problem for Sony. I'm going to say about this reaction to story stuff, okay? Here's my take on this. I do not believe in passing judgment on things until they are released. I don't like what I have seen so far of The Last of Us 2. Like, first of all, I'm not a Last of Us stan. Like, we've been saying this for a long time. Like, we're not those fans, okay?
Yeah.
Secondly, even if I was, I wouldn't like what I'm seeing, but nor would I say, that's the absolute worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a complete train wreck travesty. It's too early to say that, in my opinion. I know a lot of people feel like they've reached the point where they can pass that judgment. I'm nowhere near that yet, because I think this is going to be a 30 or 40 hour game, and I've seen probably a total of about 2 hours worth of it. So I'm going to hold off until I experience it.
Yeah, my big problem with it ultimately is there's just too much women in there, bro. It's like, what the fuck, man? No, all jokes aside, like, in reality, a lot of people, I've said this before with God of War, if you understood a snapshot of what the God of War story is going to be about, Kratos walking up a mountain, people might be like, what the fuck, that sounds terrible, right?
Sure.
So it's only until you see it and actually play it that you're going to understand what this game is really like. And you know what, man? Like, it's triggering people a lot more than I thought it would actually trigger people.
Yeah, so obviously, people feel very strongly about this. You can make up your own mind about story. I've chosen not to make up my mind yet until I play the game, even though I've seen the leaks. That's just my personal take on it. There's another beat to this, though, or two more beats, actually. The first one is in relation to security and how these leaks actually occurred. Now, when this all began, it was rumored that it was a disgruntled employee from Naughty Dog who leaked this information because they weren't getting paid. Okay,
that was like, there was so many people talking about it.
For sure.
It wasn't even a rumor, in my opinion. I'm like, well, that's just fucking. Well,
No. We covered that.
That's what's happened.
No, we covered that, and we said specifically it is a rumor. It is unconfirmed. We said that back then because I was like, that doesn't sound right to me. Like, it seemed a bit weird. Okay.
But look, I think a lot of people jumped to that conclusion because there was a lot of dev build associated with this leak. Number one, there was a dev code, and as the waves of leaks continued, it was very associated with dev builds, right? So a lot of people were like, okay, well, this must be a disgruntled employee, it seemed, and that's how I think a rumor became fact kind of thing in everyone's eyes.
And then look, and since then, it's still fact in many people's minds, even though there has been statements from Naughty Dog to dispute that. So Sony and Naughty Dog put out a tweet a while back saying, we've confirmed who this person is, and we've confirmed they are not related to Naughty Dog, okay? Everyone's like, press X to doubt, you know, because they're like, no, it's definitely a disgruntled employee. You're just lying to deflect. It's damage control. It's like, well, if there's some evidence to suggest that, cool. I'm happy to hear that evidence to suggest it's a disgruntled employee. I'm really happy to hear it. Right now, there's been no evidence, so we can't just believe it's a disgruntled employee with no evidence, okay? Today, what happened, or yesterday, Jason Schreier put out a tweet and he said this. Okay, after talking to 2 people with direct knowledge of how The Last of Us 2 leaked, as well as some Naughty Dog employees, I have a good idea of what happened. Short version, hackers found a security vulnerability in a patch for an older Naughty Dog game and used it to gain access to Naughty Dog's servers. I think the footage that leaked is from devs playing an early build. I haven't watched it. Most importantly, rumors of this being an act of protest by a contractor whose pay was robbed are not true. Naughty Dog actually extended pay and healthcare benefits for contractors due to COVID.
So look, I think firstly, there's a lot of people now that are saying, no Schreier, okay?
No.
You are just jumping to PlayStation
That's right.
because X, Y, and Z reasons, right?
Like,
we won't go into the
They're like,
reasons.
you want to protect Sony's reputation because they align with your shill social justice warrior
Wokeness.
ideology. That's what people are saying. They're like, we don't trust you, Schreier. At the same time, Schreier is literally the guy that exposed Sony and Naughty Dog for their workplace culture. And like, he's the one that started that thing. You can't have it both ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't. I'm not saying what he's saying is true. I'm just saying you can't dismiss it straight away. You can't do that.
Especially when you're only going off a rumor, right?
Correct.
Which has no fact in it. Also, I'm happy to take this on, and this potentially could be true too.
And look, and let's be real, Jason Schreier is most of the time he's right. Let's be real. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Jason Schreier. When I tweeted this out, people were like, I'm blocked.
Yeah.
I get that people don't agree with Jason Schreier's politics, but most of the time when it comes to this stuff, he's correct. I don't have any reason to doubt what he is saying here, and I believe it more than I believe a rumor that there's an angry employee. Okay?
Totally.
So that's that.
Yeah, so I ultimately think that it could be either one right now,
Yes.
but let's be real.
It could be.
If this is getting reported by Jason Schreier, he has a proven track record that I'm willing to really take that on and see where that goes.
For sure.
Now, the last part of this is the DMCA takedowns.
It's so shitty.
That is the last thing. Now, we're getting hit on Twitter and everything. Like, why are you guys
all
covering
weekend?
this?
It's been. I'm like, whoa, we're taking a weekend. Relax, man. We're out of quarantine. Give us a chance, man.
So what happened with this ultimately is now there are more and more YouTubers coming out saying that they are getting DMCA takedowns. And we've got a few examples here. We've got Geeks and Gamers and Hills vs. Babyface. Now, I watch them all the time. I mean, obviously, I've never heard of them, but
I have actually heard of them before.
Have you? Okay,
Yeah. But like, there's also other channels as well, by the way. We don't want to skip over them, but Hills vs. Babyface and Geeks and Gamers are sort of the main leading two that have been most vocal on this topic. But yeah, so what has happened is that those channels have received takedowns for a mix of reasons. And other channels as well. Some of them upload a screenshot of stuff, right? Not saying that those channels did specifically, because to be perfectly honest, I don't know the exact details. It's all sort of mixed up. There are quite a few channels that have been hit with this. I'm not exactly sure which channel uploaded a screenshot. Not those videos have been taken down, so I can't see them for myself. I do know that some channels have uploaded a screenshot or so, and they have got a copyright strike. Now, that sucks, obviously. It would be nice if that weren't the world we lived in, but it is the world we lived in.
Yep.
Where if you do that stuff, it's like that they're the rules of the game. We get pinged all the time on copyright stuff on this bullshit platform, so we know what that's like.
100%.
It just is what it is, okay?
Yeah.
However, there were people that were not uploading copyright material, not uploading screenshots or anything like that, and they also got a DMCA takedown.
And it's important to mention also that PlayStation has now got a external company involved to do these DMCA takedowns. Now, they're called Muso TMT Limited, shady-ass company that you really can't find a lot of information about.
Yes.
I've encountered companies like this before where we've got copyrighted. I've tried to look them up. There's no contact details. There's no address. It's just like some shady-ass company run by Dr. Evil or something. You can't find it.
Sure.
But this is ultimately what's going on here. Now, in the DMCA takedown, it does say acting on behalf of PlayStation or Sony Interactive.
It does.
So it is in fact done with Sony. So Sony seems to be instructing these companies to go after these people. And it's a real shame, I think, if they are going after people that aren't even doing screenshots or videos. But I would understand kind of if you're putting out videos that are showing those leaks, I can't understand that legally they have a right.
I agree.
You know?
There's actually 3 categories of DMCA takedown. 1, you've uploaded a screenshot. You lose. That's just the rules of the game. 2, you aren't uploading any material, but you're talking about the leaks. Okay. I know at least one situation where that person was struck.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd category is you didn't even discuss the leaks or the content of the leaks, and you didn't show any copyright material. And that's what happened to Geeks and Gamers, who was doing a live stream, and that live stream was taken down, even though they were not discussing any of the content or showing any material. That's fucking nuts. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no excuse for this whatsoever. This is bottom of the barrel, garbage tier behavior from Sony and Naughty Dog. Anyone that thinks that we would be okay with this for a single second is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's just completely not okay to do that.
We would only be okay with it if we get a PS5. No. Then we're allowed to make allowances there, everybody, okay?
Nice.
Now, look, I think it's if they're now going after people that are actually talking about the leaks, then, we didn't actually talk about the leaks, but you know what? Who knows?
We weren't struck either. That's the thing. We talked about this stuff before all these strikes happened. We did a video on the leaks without talking about the content, no material. We were not struck. So it's weird that Sony were being selective with who they were and who they were not striking. Recently, Angry Joe did a video. He's the biggest YouTuber to do a video on this subject in terms of content. He discussed the leaks. He did a reaction to the leaks. And so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Sony bring the hammer down on him, because he's a channel with 3 million subs. And there's a big Streisand effect if you miss with 3 million subs. There's already a huge Streisand effect with these smaller YouTubers who have, 100,000 subs or whatever. People are already yelling very loudly about this. There's no way that Sony could have botched this any worse.
Whenever we see companies that are trying to silence people trying to steer the conversation like that, I mean, this is a separate thing, like the Diablo Immortal, where they're like deleting likes and comments and shit, trying to like control the narrative. I think it just always is so devastating because people just go, okay, cool, I'm going to make sure that this is going to be a giant problem for you guys.
I'm going to make it my life mission to get these leaks out and to make everyone hate you. You know what I mean? And that's what's happened.
I do think this is the biggest, I mean, this has to be one of the biggest problems for PlayStation's PS4 generation. I can't think of a bigger thing that's come around for PlayStation for the last 5 or 6 years or whatever that it has been such a big problem for them.
The launch of Death Stranding, maybe, so.
Of course, everybody. But really, I am excited. Well, not excited. I am interested to see how they actually move forward with this, because what we really need now is actually some just like. They need to chill. They really need to chill.
And can't I just say as well, they need to take these strikes off these channels. Because when these strikes are on there, they're actually on there for at least 3 months, I think. And they stop that channel from earning certain types of revenue and from live streaming
and merch.
And all sorts of stuff. It really fucks those channels. So not only should Sony not do this in the future, they should take the strikes down and they should apologize to those people, because it's not okay just to sweep this under the rug, Anyway, that's the sizzling hot take from the Layman, back in the studio for the first time.
It's good to be back.
It feels very good to be back, guys. We will, of course, keep you updated on what's going on next. For now, ladies and gentlemen, Layman out.